Hi, it's Sally-Shakti, your visionary writing guide, and welcome to Tarot and Astrology for Visionary Writers and Creatives for the week of Monday the 20th to Sunday the 26th of March 2023. This is another huge week for us astrologically here on planet Earth. We are receiving and embodying lots of strong astrological energy for change and transformation as we move through these days in our lives. And if you are a creative, if you're a visionary writer or creative, you may be feeling this particularly strongly in your life. So these tarot and astro readings are designed to support you on your journey as you come into a greater relationship with yourself and your path and your purpose as a visionary writer and creative, and support you to manifest your visions into the world. You may wake up today when you're watching this, the day that you're watching this video, this week, or whenever you're watching it. You may have woken up feeling like a different person, like something deep within you has shifted, and maybe you do or you don't know what that is yet and what its implications are for you in your life and on your path. Is something I feel that we may be experiencing collectively at this time. Today, Monday 20th of March, is the spring equinox in the Northern Hemisphere, the autumn equinox in the Southern Hemisphere. It's a time to return to balance. It's a time for discernment. If we are coming out of the dreaming days of winter in the Northern Hemisphere and we're moving into this fire energy of Aries, it's time to take action. And with that comes discernment. What action do we take? What resources do we have? And what path is best to follow to implement our intention for calling in our soul's creative vision? In the Southern Hemisphere, you might be experiencing a discernment in terms of evaluating the harvest of what you have created already this year and beginning to discern what you will carry forward and what you are ready to let go. For all of us, wherever we are on the planet, we are experiencing the transition from Pisces season to Aries season. And this feels like a big one, particularly this year, as the sun's entry into entry into Aries from Pisces is quickly and closely followed by the moon. And we have the new moon in Aries tomorrow. Now, just yesterday on Sunday the 19th, the moon was conjunct to Saturn in Pisces and reactivating the Pisces new moon energy point in the first degree of Saturn. I think it's at 1 degree of Saturn, of Pisces. This Pisces new moon point is going to be significant for us throughout this year, and I've mentioned it several times, but it's worth keep returning to the intentions that we set and the visions that we called in with the Pisces new moon, because Saturn has also entered Pisces at this time and will be supporting us and challenging us to get what we need so that we can bring our soul's vision into manifest creation, into form in this world. Saturn has reactivated that Pisces new moon point for the first time on Sunday the 19th of March, and it will be crossing over this point 3 times this year. So the second time will be in October, the third time will be in December. This Pisces new moon energy is a big calling for us to ground and manifest and co-create our soul's creative vision in the world. And that new moon point reactivated yesterday by Saturn and the moon brings us then into a transition as the sun enters Aries today on March 20th. The day is equal night and day wherever we are on the planet. And it's followed by the moon at the Aries new moon point tomorrow, Tuesday the 21st. So yesterday we had the Pisces new moon point activated by the moon and Saturn in Pisces. Tomorrow we have the new moon in Aries activated by the moon and sun conjunct in the first degrees of Aries. And we will have a second new moon in Aries coming up on the 20th of April. And that will be a very different feeling new moon in energies in the last degrees of Aries. These new moon energies are very strong and very significant for us at the moment with the intentions that we set and the the new moon is an opportunity to release and let go as the moon goes dark and goes into the underworld, and then to be rebirthed as the new moon gains energy and we enter into a new cycle. Not only are we entering into a new lunar cycle this week, we're also entering into the new solar year, the new astrological cycle. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and we are now entering into the new astrological year, a time when, for those of us perhaps feeling it more strongly in the Northern Hemisphere, we're coming out of the dreaming days of winter. We've moved through the Pisces death and rebirth portal. We've moved through the death portal of Pisces, and we're now coming into rebirth, and we have the opportunity to bring with us what we can carry and what we can create in this solar cycle. Also this week, we have another big transition, another big cycle beginning. Pluto is moving from Capricorn into Aquarius. Now, this transition of Pluto from Capricorn to Aquarius is going to take the whole of this year and will come into fullness as we move through from January 2024. But for the rest of this year, Pluto is going to be transiting between the late degrees of Capricorn and the early degrees of Aquarius. And it starts that journey on Thursday, 23rd. Many of you may already have been feeling this energy as we begin to feel disruptions, transformations, crises in our technological world, and how we use and utilize technology, what is our relationship with technology, and how does technology support our relationships with each other and the earth around us, rather than to take us away from human contact and physical connection with our environment. There are many ways in which our technological systems currently have been co-opted and corrupted. Just like the financial system, we're going to see changes and transformations and restructuring happening at a very deep and fundamental level, not only globally and collectively in terms of our systems, but also in terms of our personal journeys through this energy. So this is a big week, and as we are transiting from the death phase, the release phase of Pisces, closing out completed karmic cycles, and we move into the new cycle, the new astrological cycle of the zodiac. As I mentioned at the beginning, you may feel like you've woken up this week as a different person. Aspects of your life, your creative practice, your creative process may be falling away or leaving you, whether you want them to or not. You may or may not yet be clear on which parts of yourself you're leaving behind and which parts of yourself you are going to be carrying forward. We're still in the dark moon energy. We're still in that transition. It's not yet clear. The energies have not yet arisen. We're moving through that tunnel of rebirth. And the way ahead is still perhaps not yet clear, but you may sense a clearing, a releasing, and a rebirthing into something new, some part of yourself and your practice that has now been left behind or is in the process of being left behind, so that you can ultimately have more clarity and more focus for what you are intentionally calling through and bringing through in your life and in your visionary creative practice this week, this astrological cycle, and in the times ahead. So let's pull a tarot card from the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann, and see what supportive energy or invitation we are receiving this week to support us through this transition and into the next phase of our rebirth in our creative cycle, in our creative process as visionary writers and creators. The way that I do my tarot readings often is by continually shuffling whilst I'm speaking, or whilst if I'm reading for somebody else, I will shuffle whilst they're speaking to me about the problem or inquiry that they're making. And then when a card feels ready, it will come and be ready. When a card feels ready, it will come. And I usually lay that in a sequence for the reading, or take it as it is for a reading like this. So today's card that came very, very beautifully, very, very aptly, is the Nine of Cups, and it came right way up. So here we are. This is a beautiful card to receive at this moment of transition where we are moving from Pisces to Aries season. Cups represents the water element, which is the Pisces energy of emotion, and it can also be the emotional and psychic underworld, what we're bringing through from the unconscious, the higher consciousness, the realms of the not yet conscious, which I speak about a lot in my research and writing. And the 9 is the number of mastery, just before we move into the 10 of completion. So we're at this threshold where we're being invited to reach beyond what we have known and experienced up to this point, knowing that we are held by the transformative process that we have been in, the transformative work that we have done and that we are completing. We have the opportunity to spiral up and make a transition to the next level of our experience as we move into the next cycle, the new cycle. And the Nine of Cups is a joyful card of abundance and of really opening to what becomes possible for us now as we prepare to cross this threshold of our experience, this threshold from Pisces, the water sign, the water element, into Aries, the fire element. And we are bringing to completion the karmic cycle. We're learning to reach beyond our typical or traditional or conventional consciousness. We're reaching beyond the levels of consciousness that this world has taught us to identify with, and to call in from the realms of the not yet become, the not yet conscious. We're calling in new possibilities, new potential, and this comes from the this is a real, the symbolism of Pisces is to go beyond the earthly experience, the earthly consciousness, and to call in what has not yet been manifest on this earth. But the purpose, and as we bring this transition through, as we complete the cycle and we move through into the new solar cycle and the new lunar cycle in Aries, the purpose is to bring back that creative spark so that we can create new possibilities and new forms. This Nine of Cups is inviting us to dream big, inviting us to reach beyond what we have already known and been taught, so that we as creative visionary writers and creators, we hold the key to new treasures that have not been explored before. Some of those new treasures are coming up from the depths of ancient wisdom, and we bring those into new forms through our own creative practice and process. So this Nine of Cups is a real invitation into the joyful expansion of dreaming bigger for ourselves and for the collective, to open, to receive new inspiration, new guidance, new forms of creative expression, new levels of consciousness that we have not perhaps accessed before, and to call those in and bring them through the vessel of our bodies, through our creative practice, so that we can be part of the co-creation of new worlds, new ideas, new possibilities, new forms. And this Nine of Cups can feel like an overwhelming invitation. How can we bring this in ways that feel nourishing and supportive for our own bodies, our own nervous systems, but that also honor and recognize that invitation into expansion, knowing that having reached this point, the Nine of Cups, we are ready to take the final steps and move through into our new our new cycle. Excuse me, our new cycle of creativity and possibility. We've done the work. We've done the work. We've integrated the healing. We are, even if we don't feel like it, we are being shown that we are ready to move into our new phase of creative self-expression and to dream big and to call in the vision that is unique to ourselves, that only we can bring through in our visionary creative process. So that is a golden invitation for us this week to keep our eyes on the prize and to know that we are ready, that it is safe to leave behind what we are complete with, and to step into the new phase of our new phase of our cycle, fully resourced and able to reach beyond the known, to reach beyond what is known, what is safe, what feels comfortable, because we are ready now to take the next step, to move through and into the next phase of our transformation and transition, and to call in a bigger vision as part of our practice and process of co-creation. So I hope this feels like a great and beautiful and empowering invitation for you this week, to be with the Nine of Cups, to feel into where your edges are around opening, receiving, abundance, releasing and transitioning, but to know ultimately that you are ready, and feel free to journal with what is coming up for you around this moment of transition, around this invitation to call in a bigger vision and bring that gold back to the community. This is another symbol for me of the heroine's journey, the heroine's quest, to go out beyond the edges and to bring that gold back and share it with the community. for the greater good of all, for the collective co-creation and the nourishment and nurturing of all. And you may be catching glimpses of what that looks like and what that feels like for you in your own personal visionary writing and creative practice this week. These are big times, these are big energies, these are big invitations, and I just want you to know that you've got it. Whatever comes up, do the journaling, do the practices that support you and nourish you and nurture you. Turn to the people who are on this path with you, and together we'll be bringing back the gold to nourish the community of which we are all part, in our own ways and in our own bodies and in our own unique stories and our own unique visionary writing and creative processes and practices. You are here. You are part of this co-creation. You are ready to go beyond what has been known, what has been safe, what has been comfortable and predictable. And you're ready to bring back that gold and share it with others who are ready to receive. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I am sending you so much love, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.